Oh God, can I do that over? Okay, we'll start now. Hello, welcome to Stone Soup Poetry, the weekly gathering that's been going on in one form or another, in person, out person, for over 50 years. 50 years. I've been hosting this for nearly half my life. Oh, I'm sorry, what were we talking about? Oh, yes, Stone Soup Poetry for over 50 years and soon to be 55 as of this May coming up. And there will be more people, there'll be people to be announced for May. We already have two features slated in with one person. Hopefully, we're setting her up for the end of May, and she is an old friend, and she is someone you might remember if you were in Boston in the early 2000s when Jack Powers was still around and kicking. I have I'm hoping to get her back. She hasn't been here around for a while, but she was a good friend to Stone Soup for quite a while when she was traveling just within the country. These days, she travels outside the country. If any of you guys are mutual friends with her, you might know who I'm talking about. But I'll announce her at a later time. For now, we are still finishing up with National Poetry Month, April. Diane Sahms is our feature tonight. She's going on first, and the open mic will follow afterwards. It's an excellent night, and Diane's someone who I've wanted to get back. She first featured with her sidekick G. Reuter, all the way back in the early '80s. It's been an adventure every time George or Diane come down to Boston, and it was an adventure. It's an adventure for us when if you happen to be lucky and you've been to one of the readings that they host as part of the North of Oxford or Fox Chase Review, depending on your era, reading series, and always a memorable time. And check out, for that matter, the journal North of Oxford, a journal I link at the top of the month every month, and consider submitting or just consider reading the issue. Not reading in general, but reading North of Oxford. I'm about to do the boilerplate. Usually, I like building up to the boilerplate, but let's do a cold read and welcome her for her long awaited feature. And for those of you who are here for the first time, we meet every Wednesday, nearly every Wednesday from 7 to 9. You can check out stonesoupoetry.blogspot.com for future features. And if you're interested in featuring for us, you can contact me or contact stonesoupoetry@yahoo.com or communicate to us through the Stone Soup Facebook page, which I try to keep active with posts from Oddball Magazine and an occasional call for submissions. Moving on. Diane Sahms, tonight's feature. A native Philadelphian, is also the author of 9 poetry collections. The latest, Of an Octopus, looks like this. Whoops, there we go. Of an Octopus, an archite, no, sorry, our textual awareness of words. Of an Octopus, our textual awareness of words. This is from Carbonation Press, published this year. She was awarded first place in Judith Stark's poetry contest and Partisan Press's Working People's Poetry Contest. She is also the recipient of AE Ventures Foundation's poetry grant. She's been published in North American Review, Northern Virginia Review, Brushfire, Valley Voices, Sequestrium, Charon Review, the Philadelphia Inquirer, Pennsylvania Literary Journal, Ranger Magazine, Amsterdam Review, and elsewhere, many other elsewheres. As I said before, she is and she has work forthcoming in Abstract Magazine, Contemporary Expressions, and she's a poetry editor at North of Oxford. She worked as a contract specialist and high school English teacher. She's put in the time. She's paid the dues. She has featured before. She will feature again in a few seconds after I say, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together 30, 40 times for Diane. Emote audibly, however you like.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Chad, and thank you so much for promoting North of Oxford. We appreciate that very much, Gian and I. I will be reading from North of Oxford. I will be reading from Of an Octopus, an Architectural Awareness of Words. And I know that you have worked a PowerPoint to accompany my graphics in this book. So if you could put up the first one of Pale Yellow. That's great. So the graphics you will see, but you won't see the entire poem. The reason that I asked for the PowerPoint was because these are graphically oriented poems, textual poems, and I wanted you to see the words as they are written on the page. So the first one is of pale yellow. Chopped the beam of sunlight into burning blocks of wood and piled them in the shape of a pyramid and climbed to the top of its golden pinnacle. I silently meditated on suffering and pain until an American lotus bloom appeared from lips, and picking it from out of a rooted tongue, it became a two-tailed tiger swallowtail, and fluttered along the horizon line until, as sulphurous smoke, it disappeared, disappear, 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 disapa, disapa, dissa, did. The next poem is of a yo-yo. And as you can see in Chad's PowerPoint, that there is a grid with a yo-yo in it. Actually, there are 6 yo-yos. The grid that you see is the average size of a human brain. And the 6 yo-yos in the grid correspond to 6 characters in the poem that I'll be reading about the yo-yo, which is also in the book on the next page. Framed in the average brain's approximate 5.5-inch width and 6.5-inch length as a measured window, with yo-yo placed boldly in boxes, beautiful as abstraction, dangling string from fate's workable fingers, spun, measured, severed string, from God's index finger, from devil's pointer finger, from death's trigger finger. So just to make a comment there, the God's index finger would be the picture of God and Adam on the Sistine Chapel. You know, the fates. The devil is accusatory, and death's trigger finger, the trigger finger is what fires a gun. So, all right, the next poem is of a blanket octopus. And you have part 2 of a 3-part poem. And the reason that it's colorized is because the blanket octopus, as most octopuses, they change their colors to camouflage themselves from predators. A blanket octopus changes her colors, but she's more in the ocean than on the bottom of the ocean floor. So because she can be eaten by prey, she furls a 6-foot blanket as she swims through the ocean. Her mate is only 2 inches, so that's a little bit funny, as she's a 6-foot blanket octopus, and she changes colors. So it's a 3-part poem. This part I'll read 2 ways because she's always changing. You can read the poem in various ways, changeable ways. I'll only read it in two ways. Okay, so of a blanket octopus, of these suffering and stagnating waters, floating open ocean for years. Now, blanket octopus unwraps a part of self, of a blanket octopus. Dragging her color, changing she, changing from arms, detach, unfurling, unfurling, and detach a part of who she was, of who she was, of who she was, deep, deep depths of pain, body's pain, enslaved sufferings, entrapment of who she was in arms of time. Dragging her color, changing color was, changing she of who she was, changing was, from, was, arms, from who she was, arms detach, deep, deep depths, unfurling pain, unfurl, body's pain, unfurling, enslaved and sufferings, detach, entrapment, a part of who she was in the arms of time, of releasing grasps, the pure sands of imagination, mystical tides, emergence of three hearts. The next poem doesn't have a graphic. However, the names for the colors in this poem are colorized. The poem's title is, you could take it down for a minute, Chad, or leave it up, it's fine. I'll start my next poem, Of Pinkish Red. These are pinkish gray words of a brain coiled up, a snake inside a hat box. A pinkish red light is bleeding out from the wallpaper of body's veins. Wings inside the chest are vowels, open, close, as in long and short. Pale pink, dark red, tongue, mouth are a chattering time bomb. And reddish pink heart is a ticking clock counting superseding seconds of each heartbeat until time has been consumed, blackout, as if writing is a time bomb waiting to explode, shrapnel lodged into the sheet of a page. 2. Cardinal, in flight, a lights on leaf of tongue, in an untied pink ribbon surprise. Monosyllabic, polysyllabic sounds dressed into words pinned together, garments on a clothesline to fashion this fragment. Pinkish gray bra, pale pink polka dot dress, reddish pink thong. At times, I am a red factor canary, sing words with a caged bird's ache, broken heart bleeding in captivity. Spoken words, wings leave birdcage of a mouth as sounds released into air must be free. At times, repetitive notes are fans circling blade, worth repeating. All creatures must be free. 3. The seed and sleeve of green bean thought I eat as morphine. The small seed of pink red dragon fruit I eat as morphine. Each seed of word ingested, regurgitated as sound. Seed, not a phoneme, but a word composed of phonemes. S, E, D. 4. At times, a noun like earthquake splits my compound into broken parts. Earthquake. 5. World's oldest known color, bright pink, discovered as ancient pink pigments in billion-year-old rocks deep beneath the Sahara Desert. 6. To smooth out, sort out a dull gray day's laundry into smile, simile, as a clean and pressed landscape, like a crisp reddish pink iron shirt starched into brightness with shiny pearl poetic buttons. 7. At times, metaphoric words are tedious wiper blades, cleaning the windshield of the world's eyes into a new kind of seeing. The next one does have a graphic of Scorpius. You'll see the constellation as it appears in my poem. There it is. Thank you. Of Scorpius. Clearest dark night, connect the dots. Stars, Big Dipper scoops me up. Orion undresses, lays his studded diamond belt at my feet, drops stringed bow, directs me to Scorpius, airborne constellation, which the sun passes through, and I am its landlocked twin, Scorpion, whose ultraviolet light glows neon, aqua greenish, and fuchsia red beneath black light moon's photoluminescence. And I am seeking burst stars' guidance, its neon light of survival, to illuminate darkness from pincers to Anus's curled tail. This dreamy night, eyes possess night vision, and Scorpius immerses me in feminine glow to throw off predators. Body's giant light receptors increase my protective power by 1,000 times. My next one doesn't have a graphic, but the word red is colorized. And it also has an epigraph from Basho, his 546th haiku, which is red on red on red. And the title of the poem is Red, a trio at the end of the spectrum. Red. Cicada with red eyes sheds its exoskeleton, tells me not to fear death. He says death is spirit exiting the vessel. He says death is leaving the past and present for the future. My eyes turn bright red. I see red rose of ash. Red eye of summer sun tightly grips my spirit within its talons. On red. A spider and its shadow scurry across the globe. War's web is a dark night of the soul, where the miracle remains invisible, where hope is butchered in a slaughterhouse, where no one escapes. There's not one word to describe horror and a human's red hourglass heart. Hatred is the unsolvable problem. It's sulfurous. It floats endlessly inside the lining of empty space. Night's perfect weave anchors above telephone wires, beside a red brick wall. Intricate filaments are woven into spokes around its center. Wheels of the war machine turn. Black Widow's red hourglass is hidden on its underside. War comes from a venomous family. On red. We are our own zodiacs, phases of moon. We are atoms in the river of light, agree on finer points of starlight. We are meteor showers coming and going, threatening as asteroids. Lying inside each other's voice, we are weightless. We are crows' shadows atop evergreens. We are bloodied breasts of cardinals fracturing darkness. We are sunbursts of red camellias, whose fallen petals were Basho's laments, for samurai warriors, intense lives, their early deaths. The next one, there is a graphic. It's after Henry Rousseau's The Sleeping Gypsy. Thank you. So this is Henry Rousseau's Sleeping Gypsy. I had a poem about my Aunt Mildred, who lived next door to me growing up. She lost her child, a toddler, around 2 years old, and she never had any more children. I often tried to write a poem for her and Lucy May, the child that died, but it wasn't until I saw Rousseau's Sleeping Gypsy that I was inspired, because the Sleeping Gypsy reminds me of my Aunt Mildred. So this is for Aunt Mildred and Lucy May. The title is Of La Bohemienne en Domaine. 1. For Aunt Mildred. The lion of her fears eyes her while she slumbers. Rose vases empty, womb, walking stick tightly grasped in her right hand, mandolin 6 strings stretched into quietness as the tuneless blanket on which she rests her veiled head. This is sacredness, white zippered teeth shining as a row of prayers through lips, eyes, crescent moons. Dresses, soft shades of yellows and greens, baby blues, and variations of pink. The lion has no clothes, nor does the full moon, appearing as phantoms on canvas. Yet the lion's shaggy mane wavers in chords like dreads floating in a dusty cloud of indecision. It prowls. It studies her nomadic dreams. White sclera of its eyes, pure as moonlight. There is no fear here in this frozen moment. The lion sniffs the dream of her lost child, Lucy May. She has wandered into barefooted sleep, to a place of no words, timelessness. 2. For Lucy May. Lie here with me. Console me, sleeping angel. It's been years since no movement of wind blowing from within your form. Frozen limbs, eyes iced over ponds. In sleep, no gypsy should have to dream of their child in death's unholy repose. In this desolate landscape, lie here with me. Console me, sleeping angel. No words should ever be spoken here. No song can ever be sung. And I'd like to end with a graphic that's in my book. This is my maternal grandmother on her wedding day. And her portrait of the whole wedding party has been in my house for about the last 10 years. I've inherited the family picture of my maternal grandmom. So I am always looking at it. And finally, this poem is written for her. It's called Of Fadeless Lilies, and there's an epigraph by Walt Whitman. The bride unrumples her white dress. The minute hand of the clock moves slowly. Of Fadeless Lilies. Life is a lily. Silence draws me into this black, white, photographic moment. It's as if I am an overlaid pen and pencil sketch on tracing paper, the missing lily, a superimposed image, like my ghostly reflection appearing within aged glass, framed within ornate frame. This portrait always possessing a mysterious aliveness within my body, connecting me to her handheld bouquet. The idea of these six-pointed flowers reaching radiant light as if they were photographed stars that never grow old or never die out, and tied in a bundle with fusions of thin-skinned satin ribbons, appearing as meteorites, leaving brilliance of trailing tails, or the appearance of tears rolling down my solemn face, leaving no trails after wiping them away with fate's lines contained within each palm. And these fadeless white lilies are out of their element, a heart-aching way to connect me to her timeless bright eyes, serene smile, lace arms that will carry me as part of her future into my future until I will witness to see her leaving me in a room full of lilies, as in her still life of sleep. This silence moves me back into black and white portrait, now more like a dying cave, filled with memories, bones. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Everyone, put your hands together for Diane. That was fantastic and so well worth the wait. I do want to thank her for sending me a copy of an octopus, an architectural awareness of words. I think I just said that correctly in one sentence. That's one try, one breath. Um, and I will post a link to said book tomorrow when we recap Stone Soup and post the video from tonight, which is actually the video tonight because it's in progress. That's how time works. Anyway, at least so I understand. Anyway, what's your next project, Diane? I'm very curious.
So this book took on a life of its own after I
Mm.
retired. So there was so much material that I'm working on book two, which will be called Of a Swinging Pendulum, an architectural awareness of words. So it's a kind of a follow-up, a book two of book one. I think it's more daring, the next book, because I was very pleased with the reception that this experimental poetry book is getting. So I'm feeling more brave, and I'm doing more daring experimental things with graphics and words and poems and typography and color.
Well, that's fantastic, and I will look forward to featuring that book as well when it is done.
Oh, thank you.
Philadelphia has some powerhouse poets, and Diane and George are definitely a power. George Reuter, who's in the call, is on the Zoom, is and featured last year. Definitely a power couple that not only do a lot of their own work, but also do their best to promote the works of others. And that should be applauded, especially when one of them actually gets a book out. And G. Reuter, I'm going to have to email you because I want to do a quick interview follow up on your book that got banned on Amazon. But that's for a later time. I am praising the feature tonight, and you should definitely grab her book. Although G did just send information on how to submit to North of Oxford, so you should definitely take advantage of that. And oops, give me one sec. Better. So definitely do that, and definitely read her work. Bill Lewis is like, how do you get banned on Amazon? That's the first of my interview questions. Like, what do you have to do? It's like it's like George Reuter is the Izzy Stradlin. Izzy Stradlin was a guitar player for Guns N' Roses, and the famous Dennis Miller joke was, Izzy Stradlin kicked out of Guns N' Roses. What the fuck do you have to do to get kicked out of Guns N' Roses? so, but so that's another thing. But again, that's George. This is Diane. This is a fantastic. I do want to say that the color. I saw how the colors worked as you were reading out the poems. And I encourage you guys. This is a book that demands to be read out loud um, and performed, if only to yourself. It is a it is definitely a an experience. And as you were reading, I saw how the colors make sense and transitional sense and going complementing back to each other. That's a very ingenious way of putting it together and connecting, connecting stanzas that you might not think connect that way, or you wouldn't think connect that way. It's done very sequentially. Where did you get that idea? Was that ever influenced by other illustrated books or something like that?
Well, I do a lot of reading of anthologies of all kinds of poetry, but actually, I was working on a book that was very much in a grid. When I was working, I was very much in a grid. It was called The Language of Air, and it was an alphabet. All the titles were capitalized A and then lowercase A to Z, and it felt so confined. And then the year that I was retiring, I had a dream. There's a poem in here that I actually had a dream about. It's called it's my word art. They're in there are 5 different poems within a poem titled Word Art. There's a
Mm.
rainbow, it's in color. There's something about death and life, a graphic. So there's 5 graphics, and I woke up and I did the rainbow one and maybe several, and then I had a shift in consciousness, and I just started to do more of a word art type thing. And then what I did was I took my grid out of the grid and started applying the same principles of color and graphics and just really having fun and having time to really concentrate on it. But I have to give a shout out to Carbonation Press in Spokane, Washington, because he was the one who agreed to do my graphics, to do my poems in color. They're all in color. All the words that are color words are in color. So red is in color, pink is in color, yellow is in color, and all the colors in the book, which is really a lot of fun. And he also recommended to me, because of the graphics, to put it in a square. So it is in the
Mm.
shape of a square. And I loved that idea. And it took quite a lot of formatting for me, because it's an 8.5 by 8.5 page rather than an 8.5 by 11. So I really had to work with the form, but that lent itself to me having the ability to do all these graphics and colors and typography with my words, my texts.
Well, shout out to Carbonation Press because and a publisher who's willing to work with you like that is a soldier, a soldier
Yep.
and a general. That's a whole lot of hard work. There's someone who wouldn't publish wouldn't print italics in my poem in a poem that they published because they said it would be too much formatting. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, the
Yeah,
fuck are you talking about? So,
not user friendly.
like, it's an italic line. What it would, if
No,
anything, it would shrink everything. It would fit on the page better. Like, what are you talking? Yeah.
that's
So, anyone who puts in the extra work, I want to give them a special shout out too.
yeah.
Wow. So I'll be posting that information. If I can find it during the open mic, I'll post it in the chat, but I'll be sure to post it on Facebook and elsewhere. How to grab your book, and it's this was a wonderful reading and a wonderful experimental sometimes and avant-garde sometimes gets thrown around too much, but this was a very different read. Maybe for this limited boy, but I think for everyone else too. I think it was a definitely enhanced and different reading and different and exciting reading experience. So I wish you luck with the sequel book.
Thank you so much. Thank you for hosting me, and thank you for all that you do for Stone Soup, and also for your promotion of me and George, and also north of Oxford. We
Big shout out
appreciate
to the
it.
North. Big
Thank
shout out to North of Oxford. Thank you so
thank you.
much. And I know you have to, you might have to leave soon, but we're going to transition to the open mic. Boy, sometimes I don't like sometimes putting the, open
No,
mic after this because it's going to be a tough act to follow, guys. But I know this is a tough group. This is a group of soldiers themselves. I don't just have open micers. I got, trained soldiers
I'm looking
who know
forward to
how.
hearing the open mic. I will be able to stay for the open mic, and then I'll have to cut out.
All right. Well, we'll get started now. And, I'm going to start with Jackie Chow, if that's okay.
Yes. So I've been writing several prompt poems, and I wrote two poems today responding to the prompt, which was to write a poem about something that you found that doesn't belong to you. Okay, this first one is untitled still. Untitled. Whose river is it that flows with laughter instead of tears? That swallows the old woman and returns the reflection of a young girl? Whose river is it that is home to iridescent fish, that can smooth out the jagged edges of all its stones? And then I'm going to read the second one that is a little bit more detailed, responding to this same prompt. And this is called Whose Life Is This?
Just checking. Did you freeze, Jackie? She froze. I think she froze. It's, I swear, if this laptop was a TV, I'd be banging on the side right now. But all right, hopefully she'll make it back in a few seconds. Sometimes she's one of those people that can jump in and out, and I don't even have to reapprove her again. She skips the waiting room. She's got that power. So give her a second, and we'll see. Incidentally, everything is picked through the Ramnator 5000. Then anyone can be the first one up. Anyone can be in the middle or towards the end. We usually have the only definite position is the last closer, which is James Van Loy. And now, oh, here she is. Here you are.
Okay, let me read this next one. Okay, so this poem is called Whose Life Is This? I have woken to a fat black car key on the table. It is not mine, this rosewood, this house in the suburbs. Where is my medication? Where's my medicine? My orange bus pass that promises rides in pumpkin-turned carriages. Where are the nurses at my care? I can go anywhere now in my silver Honda, though I fancy the gym, and I can do anything I set my mind to. Where is my psychosis? Where is my diagnosis? I think I am living a dream of that boy I see online with the same name as me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Let's see who else I can bring us to, who else can come next. I'm going to bring it over to Richard Spizak. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, my friend. It's an honor to be here as always. I brought you Act 1 of a play last week. I will bring it the second act next week. But for tonight, those of us who are concerned about AI, here is a little something for you to ruminate over. It's called What Does the Robot See? It doesn't see like you and me. It knows no context for a tree. It doesn't see like you and me. It fails to appreciate what it is to be. Hamlet had a hearty laugh at the robot's betrayal, at his portrayal by Half and Kraft, and although in the ring at the Globe he got a hearty laugh, at least from the lingering dazed and dreamy production staff, the robot had a list on file. He thought about it quite a while. It calculated 20 digits, but when asked for some equivalence, it gazed down at its metallic feet and could only stammer and fidget. As it strolls through long columnar digits, the robot knew there was a grievous wrong, so it took off its sandals to run haphazard, or, well, you have it, in its polished leather thong. Despite its backhanded compliment, it still ended up wrapped in that mirrored sarong, all wrong. The robot thought about it quite a while. It varied long, sipping your data, stealing strong. It had the lyrics, but not the song. The robot shot it, bought it, potted and plotted, but still in all, it got it very scary, weary, wrong. The robot had a list on file. It thought about it quite a while. It calculated to 20 places, but pi r squared violated its sage-long wages, dumbfounded on its pixelated faces. The robot compiled quite a list. The robot pointed in hasty hay, pounded the ground with its metallic fist. Once we thought about it when it rained, and then dismissed it as it boarded that slowly trudging Russian train. Then, after all, climbing over the Berliner Wall, but still in all, it really missed and insisted on the unsettled, oh-so-sentimental, dusty, crusty, volcanic mist. The robot thought about it quite a while, and yet the robot got it very wrong. And all the while, it composed a madrigal which, despite its heavy heaving, grieving monstrosity, and over several roasted redbird shades of pomposity, it delivered a thesis quite profound, this granite ossuary with its sonorous sibilant sound. But still in all, it seemed quite pallid, munching there on its gluten-free deep dish metallic salad. The robot had a list on file, and it thought about it quite a while. It gained our trust and thrust us from the driver's seat, and while still retained their claim to eminence, meanwhile, it's stolen a seat in Superior Court, where it's suing and demanding sentience.
Personally, I preferred Skynet. Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Spizak. And let's see who we can go to now. Let's go to, I hope she didn't leave. Why can't I see her? Did Rita Rusty Rose leave? Or, oh, there she is. You were right to my left. You were originally below me, but let's welcome her back.
Yes, yes. I'm going to share if that's okay with you.
Yep.
A lot of you, I want to just say again, a lot of you know that 5 days ago, a larger than life presence in the poetry community, John McMullen, passed away. He was part of Spoken World Paris, Poetic License, Austin, Mayor Peck Workshop, and Writers Group, and elsewhere. And just so everyone knows, not only will I go there, but I sent a basket on behalf of everyone who knows him, saying it's from the poetry group all over, the place. So John loved Bukowski, Charles Bukowski, and he didn't agree with a lot of his practices, but as a poet, he enjoyed his work. And to understand the poem I've written, if you didn't know Charles Bukowski, not only was he a great poet, but he also was a raging alcoholic. Everywhere he went, he caused chaos, and people I know went to his readings. He couldn't get through them, and He couldn't hold down jobs. Somehow he managed, though, to get a pension from the post office. But for a temporary too, he worked in a pickle factory. So I used to tell John McMullen that, John, Bukowski's got nothing on you because John wrote in a similar style, a lot of profanity, a lot about the human condition, people, the everyday people, So I'm going to share what I wrote to him. I wrote for him, and I'll be reading it at his wake. This is Bukowski's Got Nothing on You. Johnny Mack hosts a dynamic radio internet show. It features poets and personalities, moi included. His podcast carries more content than Charles Bukowski's unwieldy mailbag. The dirty poet stanzas stack like sorted mail. Words are static and snaily. Johnny Mack's delivery is instantaneous, has weight, and resonates with life. Simply said, Johnny Mack, Bukowski's got nothing on you. John is a techno guru. He designs, secures, and sorts data. The Angry Bard specialty is hard drinking and separating dills from gherkins. Literary artisan McMullen finds relaxation in a few beers at the neighborhood bar. The other, he is boorish and disorderly, lives for dirty barroom fights. If they were competing at a poetry slam, Charles' words would be crass and silver, while John's a precious gold. Simply said, Johnny Mack, Bukowski's got nothing on you. Poets McMullen and Bukowski are diametrically opposed when it comes to women and life. Yet they do align in poetic eloquence and style. Persistent threads stitch their poems together. In verse, these two wordsmiths' love for poetry is a sensibility shared. And to bring this poem to a head, this is a sample of their approach. My soul has bled on every page, with nothing left to hide. As a bird, I am free, uncaged. So do not berate or act snide, for if what I write makes you scoff, then close the goddamn book and fuck the hell off. Simply said, Johnny Mack, Bukowski's got nothing on you. Thank you.
Rita, Jan Rowe, are you ready today? There you go.
Hi. First off, Chad, I just got such a kick out of you saying that you ran out of work screaming, punching yourself in the head. For some reason, I thought that was very funny, which shows something. This is from this week's April 21st, and it's called The Water is Poison Part 2. And I think there has to be another one because I still haven't really got to the part. Okay, John Flint, 1907 to 1940s, was killed in a coal mine around Maxwell or Laybell, Pennsylvania. Supposedly smashed up against the wall, as were a few coal miners following him. John, a sibling to my remembered maternal grandmother, Dorothy Flint, 1904 to 1958. Another sibling, Red Flint, 1911 or 1913 born. He made it to almost 100, and he got out of the coal mine when his brother John was killed. He then worked at a barge manufacturer. They're still making 15 a month, and tugs pushing coal barges from West Virginia on the North Flowing River, the Monongahela. As children, we'd ascend the stairs to the intercounty bridge and look down into the train cars loaded with coals, sometimes throwing paper or stuff down. Now the stairs are rusted away. Gone. The roof collapsed at the 5 or 6 story Union Station where we played on the elevators, went to the dentist and the doctors. Even in March 1999, 92, a flower. I was able to get flowers there at Ludden's for my dad's spring funeral basket, and they were pushed out. Ugh. Mm. So some rich person bought Brownsville properties betting that riverboat gambling would be approved. Riverboat gambling was not approved. Unsure why. Wasn't approved in Pennsylvania. The town eventually got the properties back, but too many years without maintenance, they were gone. So Brownsville in southwestern Pennsylvania, a victim of addiction. You know how we humans think things, or regardless that they're true, whether they are or not. And since my spouse reports half the male population has problems with gambling, so Brownsville, victim of gambling, coal mining, and fracking. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jan. And up next, let's welcome up Mr. Jacob R. Moses.
Thank you, Chad. I'm doing 30 and 30 this year, and this is number 18, Hearing the Earth Cry. For every time a civilian gets killed, the population will abdicate grace. Congeniality, not a factor. We're pissed off, and we want it all to end. Enough already with the rhetoric. For every time you justify your hate, I can hear the earth cry. Extinction of truth and morality. Plurality is on the morphine drip. We're barely making it through prejudice. Inflation, economy in shambles, retirement dissolving like saccharin, people afraid to show their true colors for fear of murder and persecution. For every time you choose to stay silent, I can hear the earth cry. Rise to your feet and make the world better. Stand up against the bigotry and ire. Prove to the world you're not a mindless sheep. Prove that you're decent and oppose Nazis. Incarcerate this motherfucker now. For when he's gone, I'm sure, with much laughter, I can hear the earth cry. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moses. I'd like to bring it over to, looks like we're going to have a segment of the Stone Soup Players. To explain the Stone Soup Players for anyone here for the first time, there are poets who often want to direct. So, whoops. Sorry, we do have poets that come with their screenplays that they wrote and they want to direct others. So Mr. Robert Fleming has selected people to perform in his one-act play, which I believe is called Dairy Queen Jesus. So welcome up, Robert Doodle, aka Robert Fleming, visual poet from Delaware, and take it away, sir. You should have sharing privileges already.
Thank you, Chad. And I wanted to share this skit tonight because it will be my first pushcart nomination for 2026. So I'm thrilled for that. And I just want to review the players. Looks like some of them have gone. Rusty is going to be the manager, and Richard's going to be Jesus. And we need Jackie. Jackie Chu, could you unmute?
Yes.
And you're going to be the customer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put it on the screen and I will read the instructions. Cast of characters: Lost, a human, that's Jackie. Jesus, the Son of God, that'll be Richard. Manager is the Dairy Queen manager.
Can you increase the size of the font a little bit there, buddy?
I'll try, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. No, I
Oh,
can't make it any bigger. I'm sorry.
okay.
Act 1, Scene 1, setting a road.
Where's Dairy Queen? Down this road before. Can't find DQ. What's this?
A lost crosswalk found. Hello. Jesus crossing guard. Sunday? Going to church?
No Dairy Queen. Which way?
When you get to the Dairy Queen, you will know.
How?
When you get to DQ, you'll be saved.
Lights out, Scene 2, setting inside Dairy Queen.
Work at Dairy Queen, no open-toe shoes.
I'll find my way.
You'll walk on cream.
What will you have?
Seen you before.
No, I recommend a blizzard.
Are you denying you crossed me? A chocolate blizzard? Cherry sundae small.
Jesus makes the blizzard. His beard hairs fall into the blizzard. Gives order to customer. Customer looks at blizzard.
Hair?
This blizzard hair is my body.
Cherry sundae. Okay?
Cherry sauce is my blood.
Sundae. Okay. No hair. Make me another blizzard.
Jesus takes back the blizzard, puts on a beard protector and makes a new blizzard. Lights out. Lights on.
Dairy Queen, separation of church and cream. Jesus, too much church, not enough cream. You're not working out. This is your last shift.
May I eat the food of Dairy Queen?
Yes, this is your last cone.
My last peanut butter parfait.
Lights out. Scene 3, setting a crucifixion.
Crucifixion catered by Dairy Queen. Billy bars $1.
2 Billy bars.
Opens, ready to bite. Jesus' face on the ice cream bar.
I am the bar of Jesus.
You again? No. This Billy bar is my bread. This wrapping is my blood.
I am a Jesus bar.
I can't eat you.
Bite down. I am the ice cream of Christ.
Ordered a Billy bar, not a Jesus bar. Give me a Billy bar.
Returns the Jesus bar to the manager.
Lick me now.
After the crucifixion, resurrection catered by Dairy Queen. Every order gets a free resurrection Jesus bar.
I am saved.
Thy stick is done.
Thank you for all the Stone Soup players.
The Stone Soup players, because everyone wants to direct eventually. It's true. I explain it in my newest screenplay. Up next, let's let's welcome up Jackie Oldham, who we haven't seen for a while.
Hello, everybody. Good to be back. It's been very busy lately. I have one poem. Can you hear me okay? Cool. All right. One poem The dope dealer of love. She doles out love like a dope dealer, latching on to your most basic needs, food and drink and cigarettes, as if those were the only things that matter in your life. Not even a greeting, no good morning. The first words out of her mouth are, "Do you need any smokes?" while thrusting her full pack in your face. After you've made morning coffee, she asks, "Do you want a top off on your coffee?" when you've barely tasted your first sip. You answer no thanks, rolling your eyes after she's left the room. At snack time, she says there's 1.5 graham crackers left. That's how many I ate. Do you want them? You reply, well, okay, I'll take them. At bedtime, you descend the stairs to her basement lair. The bunker, she calls it. Point from yourself to her and laughingly say, oh, look, we're twins in matching plaid PJs, her, and nightgown, you. Who's the dope dealer of love now? Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. I'd like to bring it over now to someone else we haven't seen for a little while, Mr. Mark States.
Thank you, Chad. Just right, they say. Get the first couple sentences out and keep going. You'll get to the 30 minutes in no time. You'll have a blast. You can always fix it up later and conjure a great opening line and title and all that. And here's a prompt topic if you need one, and just like John McCain in Die Hard, I know now what a microwave dinner feels like. Except there's no trail of broken glass and bloody footprints, no office chair on wheels upon which bricks of C4 are strapped down like a guest who's just been checked into a mental institution, and then chair is rolled over the edge into an elevator shaft. Sure, the blast will be glorious, and I suppose I could grab a Sharpie pen out of the desk drawer and write, ho, ho, ho. Now I have a poem on a loose sheet of printer paper conveniently just laying around nearby. Then again, who knows when someone figures out the why and how, yet stops mid-sentence upon the mental reflection, what's the use? A grunt and a toot occasionally leads to something more than expected, but either way, the lingering result fades away eventually, and most, if not all, return to nonchalant normal, ho hum, ho hum. What are we going to bother to do today? The cupboard contents are skinny dipping in the sink. The coffee cup is bored and needs a stiffer drink, and the pen cannot find a tourniquet for its bleeding ink. So, dear listeners, what do you think? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Excuse me. I'd like to bring up next, coming from a farm in Idaho, Mr. Bill Lewis.
Thank you so much, Chadford. Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I have sharing permission. Yes, I have. So, as I think I have told you, I am headed back to Indiana in about 8 hours. And here is my proposal for the Indiana University Computer Science. When I was there, people supported me over summer. I got to work on a project doing computation for retinitis pigmentosa, and I had a glorious summer there, and I want to be able to provide that for somebody else. So there is a proposal that I have made to the head of the department, Abdul Muttaleb, pronunciation questionable, but there it is. So that is what I am up to. I'm kind of nervous. I mean, who do I think I am proposing to support a student just by myself? And yet it seemed like a good idea, and so I'm doing it. And now, let us go back to our dear friend Yuri. As you may remember, the time that I spent in Estonia and Tallinn led to my writing a story about a Russian Estonian kid who had a hard time of it because ah, it's tough in Estonia. Oh my God. Do you guys know how good we have it here? Do you all ever sit down and just stop for a moment and think to yourself how incredibly lucky we are to be in America? I mean, we have it so good. But Yuri has been having a hard time of it, and he and Vladimir have just settled down at a cafe to talk. And Vladimir is one of the workmen who's, uh, with only a little bit of encouragement from Vladimir, Yuri told him more than he had ever told anyone. Every now and then, Vladimir would nod or agree. That's what it was like for me, too. Yuri talked about his parents, the incessant running battles with Carl and the other boys, all the agonies of school and the unsympathetic teachers. He even told Vladimir about the refuge and the cat. He didn't say anything about Heli or the spoons. Vladimir listened and listened more, saying very little until the end. I can tell you what you have to do. Sounds hard, but it isn't really. Yuri pursed his lips, then chewed at them nervously, looking up at Vladimir, hoping doubtfully. You have to fight them, Vladimir said simply. You don't have to beat them. You don't even have to hit them very hard, but you have to fight. Yuri's eyes grew wide and his face cringed. He sank back in his chair. I know it sounds impossible, but it's not that hard. They're gonna beat you up anyway, right? They can't beat you up any more than they already have. So all you have to do is let them know that you're trouble. So here's what you do. Sit up straight now and look at me. Yuri remained hunched over. Come now, straighten up. Vladimir pulled Yuri upright. They've beaten you 100 times already. This will just be number 101. The next time you see Carl, I don't care where, anywhere, in school, in the street, on the playground, you take a running leap at him. Yell as loud as you can and jump on him. Hit him as much as you can for 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds. And then curl up because he's going to beat the crap out of you. You're not going to beat him up, but he's bigger than you are. But you do this a couple of times and he'll start avoiding you. He'll call you crazy. The teachers might give you detentions, but who cares? You do this a couple of times and he will find someone else to pick on. Yuri stared at Vladimir. Half of him was terrified, and half of him was dressed in regal armor, beating back the Teutonic knights at the gates of Tallinn.
Thank you, Bill. And now I'd like to bring up next Beverly Cartwright. So great to so great to have you here.
Thank you. I'm going to read a poem that's kind of dedicated to anybody that's ever tried to renovate an old house. It's called Flat Roof. We are trapped in the second floor bedroom after proving beyond doubt that the door to your room has a doorknob handle that sometimes misses the mark. We are both sure one of us will get this thing right and the door will open. It's Friday night. I have laundry and you are going to go hang out with friends. I call your brother who has the extra key, but tonight he's at a show and the phone is off. We can't even ask a neighbor to get the one from under a fake rock because there is no fake rock yet and no extra key. It starts to get late, past midnight. You show me that the flat roof outside your bedroom window is perfectly safe. So we sit out there for a while, enjoying the night sky. Finally, I decide to call the police, thinking surely they can help. It's beginning to feel like an emergency, to me anyway. The police do a drive-by and slow down to shout at us from their black and white unit. How simple they make it, pointing to your young and able body. Climb down and break into your own house. This is the best advice the police can give as they ride away at 2 a.m., lights not flashing. They have heard already about the desert the soul can make out of 3 a.m, and they want no part. Thank you.
Thank you, Beverly. I think this might be the first time you've read for us. If I'm mistaken, I apologize, but if not, welcome. It's good to hear you.
Thank you. I've
And
read
up next,
before. It's been a while.
apologies for forgetting. Jacqueline B is up next from Chicago.
Okay, my poem's called Proclivities. There's a painting that goes with it, but it's okay without it. Glare where the shadows casted, limbs and extremities hold promise. Upon the shade, the starkness, a stem to conjoin. Twisted feathers, quills, a self-conscious oblivion, notwithstanding contention, abounding between multiples, a sentient anomaly refracts, distinct from the nation flickering artifices, the populous bays, flown from the landscapes with topic-savvy implications, absence is quickly overshadowed, leaving the stem to flourish, sun-drenched feathers through shade emits, sparkling in plenty remembrance, ennobling the arguments, the armament of togetherness. That's it. Thank you.
That's
Chad,
it.
that was inspired by Chad told me to I should write something about a painting that I did. So that's what that was.
And you can see her work featured from this past Monday on oddballmagazine.com, where we're featuring all our current and, in her case, future artists, writers, and continuing contributing artists. This Friday, spoiler alert, we have Jennifer Matthews, who's been a longtime oddball contributor and contributor of art to the Boston poetry in general. Who will be featuring work this Friday to close out Oddball Magazine, and more work hopefully coming next week as well. It's been slow going to get everyone. It's like pulling teeth to get like either poetry or art from people. To get both from a single person, and my task is Herculean, I tell you. Herculean! Uh, anyway, enough of that. I want to ask if...
Been meaning to ask you about those stables. When are you getting to the stables?
Oh, God. Cute. Real cute. Now I just totally lost where I was. Oh yes, here we are. I'd like to go to if Mr. G. Reuter would like to make a surprise return, or maybe not so surprising return to Stone Soup and read. It'd be great to hear from him. Uh-oh, he's unmuted, but can't hear him.
Chad, would it be okay if he came onto my computer?
Absolutely not. That raises too many gender fluidity questions. Of course he can.
Come on in, G.
Part of Diane Sands will now be played by Mr. G. Reuter.
Any relation to Rhoda?
Whoops, don't forget to unmute yourself.
Are we there?
Yeah, you're unmuted.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So this is my last Trumpian poem of my life. So it's called Senseless Actions of a Madman. Our ships are massed on the sea near Iran as bombs and missiles drop by the thousands upon the land. Bad guys killed more innocents in the numbers in a war that no one can explain, or can they? Why? 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 Servicemen and women killed in the line of duty for what? 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 Oil? China? Epstein? Or is it simply the senseless actions of a madman? Thank you.
Can't we all meet together and say it's everything? it's
Oh,
it's an Epstein madman, or it's an Epstein oil loving madman. Good Christ!
he's just a big jackass piece of crap that fell off the trash barge going to Staten Island from Queens. You know, the famous
Mr. Reuter,
expression in New York is
I
that
want you to take
famous
Fetterhouse out
expression
of.
in New York is that you're a piece of garbage if you're like a jerk, and he is a piece of garbage. Anyway, thank you, Chad. I'm sorry to go on so long.
No worries, no worries, and bullshit. That's your last poem. Keep going. Bullshit.
Hey,
Anyway, thank you so much, and I
thank
want to
you.
bring it over. I want to bring it over to surprise entry into the mix. Let's welcome Jamelia Bailey. I
Oh,
hope. There she
hi.
is. Hello.
Um, so I've actually, this will be the first time I'm like reading it out loud. I've actually been working on a Marilyn Monroe thing. Um, don't know why, to be totally honest, but I'm going to read a poem that I wrote from the perspective of her maternal grandfather, who, as I try to get it pulled up, who was this Midwesterner who wanted to go to Paris, and he was a painter, and it just never happened. And if you ever like look into Marilyn Monroe's like family history, what her grandfather and then her mother went through is basically kind of like the end that she went through. Um, Again, waiting for it to load up. Hopefully my computer doesn't explode. Do do do. So forgive me if this doesn't, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm at with the whole overarching project. So it's taking too long. Let me pull it up on my phone. Ain't got the time. Do, do, do. Incomplete larger. Do, do, do. Family. Okay, so it is doesn't have a title yet, but it's called Otis. Um He was born gentle and in Indianapolis, freshly brewing and tumbling with possibilities. He was untrained, unaware, and still chosen. He grew to become a painter, trapping waves of wheat onto canvases, beautiful things you could hear by the touch of it and smell from the sight of it. He was born gentle and in Indianapolis, with an eye for hues and shades in hands that steadied when gripping a paintbrush. whether new, used, broken, or stolen. He could drag life onto taut white stillness and make the endlessness of desire feel beautiful. He was born gentle and in Indianapolis, painting houses for the freedom money inspires. And somewhere between lopsided porches, landscapes, and portraits, he fell in love. Della, a beautiful thing, so complete. He could never get the colors quite right, but still he tried, and she loved him for trying. He was born gentle and in Indianapolis, freshly brewing and tumbling with possibilities. Young, married, and restless, they moved to Mexico. He painted railways and spoke haphazardly about Paris. He kept a canvas blank and staring. For when we go to Paris, he would say to her, where we can be beautiful and really be alive. That's it.
I love that. Thank you so that. Congratulations on getting through that first step. I'll be interested in hearing the rest for sure.
Thank you.
Been a while. Don't be a stranger. Excellent. And to close us out and close the night out, we have our penultimate, our signature closer. For it used to be Billy Barnum, old Bill of the Barnums, and now we have Stone Soup's other longest friend, Mr. James Van Loy. Just touching back on Oddball Magazine one more time, visit oddballmagazine.com and check out his column, It's All One Thing, his poem column. His was the first of the experimental series of columns that I published at Oddball Magazine, just a continuing weekly work, and his captures the spirit best of that concept. Has a little bit of everything from politics to to Boston life to poetry itself. Check it out. It's every Wednesday. It's every Thursday at 11 a.m. And without any further ado, Mr. Van Loy.
Thanks, Chad. And so actually I have a poem here that goes with Bill because its title is from Attain to Crew, a couple of his physical figures. It's called The Snail Antenna Rings the Bell Ringer. So that's the title of this poem. And it has a little thing that goes with it. Every chime, an angel gets its wings. When the president turns out of control madman theory foreign policy into fact of madman presidency, and the litany of that never will happen happens, we're finally at the real end of history, staring rabid, mad, at the last apocalypse in slinking animal form of mass extinction, climate crisis never so quick and unseen by modern man, pushing us over edge, an Israeli bulldozer that plows up all the pipes and the wires, connections ripped out like missing in action species, O life upon whom the networks of life depend, O reach out and touch to retract. And here's a song. I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me, says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, said he. I never died, said he. In Salt Lake City, Joe, says I, and standing by my bed, they framed you on a murder charge, says Joe, but I ain't dead. Says Joe, but I ain't dead. The copper bosses killed you, Joe. They shot you, Joe, says I. Takes more than guns to kill a man, says Joe. I didn't die, says Joe. I didn't die. And standing there, as big as life, and smiling with his eyes, says Joe, what they could never kill went on to organize, went on to organize. From San Diego up to Maine, in every mine and hill, where workers defend their rights, it's there you'll find Joe Hill. It's there you'll find Joe Hill. I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. But Joe, I said, you're 10 years dead. I never died, said he. I never died, said he. I never died, said he. Peace and love there. And Joe Barnum's still alive because the Black Seed writers come directly from Bill, because he used to write Black Seed poems at what became the Black Seed restaurant because he wrote those poems, and that's where they started the Black Seed writers at the Black Seed restaurant.
Thank you,
Peace.
James. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Mr. Van Looy, and thank you to everyone who came out tonight. And special thanks to Diane Sahms for a wonderful reading. Definitely grab her book. I will be putting a link to that along with all the information. Check out this show again tomorrow, or as whenever you want. Once I load it up, which should be a time between 8 and 9 o'clock tomorrow. Excuse me. And stay tuned for more news. I'm not, we had things moved around. So the person I was going to announce for next week's feature is actually going to be the feature for the very first Monday of May, and that is Harris Gardner, the founder of Tapestry of Voices reading series, the founder and organizers for many years of the Boston Celebrates National Poetry Month Festival at the Boston Public Library in Copley Square Plaza. Currently one of the co-publishers slash editors of Ibbotson Street Press, and along with a number of other honoraries and dignitaries and statuaries to his name. I don't know what I'm saying. Point is, the guy's been around a lot, and he was actually a one-time Stone Soup board member back when Stone Soup actually had a board. So he's got history, and one of my goals this year um, is to bring back some of Stone Soup's old friends. And oh my God, I cannot believe this. Here, it's like in Mortal Kombat when you're about to meet the main character. All of a sudden, someone goes, "Ooh, here comes another player." Hope you weren't waiting too long, John. I kept looking for you, but we do have John Wezick, and if he wants to read something right now and be the reread closer of this
Okay,
special open mic.
I'll be the re closer. I was at the ACLU New Hampshire just put out together a poetry protest project, and they just had a reading here from this book, and here is
Fantastic.
yeah, here's the poem that I had in there. If I can find it, let me see here. Da, 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 da. Okay, here we go. It's called Those People. It's time to do something about those people. You know the ones I mean. The ones sponging off welfare because they're too lazy to work. The ones stealing our jobs. Those people have no self-respect. They think they're entitled to special privileges. Those people have no ambition. God help us if those people are in charge. Those people have no decency. They shame women into hiding their bodies. Those people have no family values. Those people breed like gerbils. Those people have the politicians in their pockets. If they'd only stop complaining about oppression, those people might finally get somewhere. Those people want to take away our freedom. Why should our courts respect those people's rights? They're criminals and terrorists, every one. Life has no meaning to those people. The only thing those people understand is force. And I thank the editors for realizing that this is a satire. Thanks, everybody.
We're not sure these days.
Yeah, not an instruction manual.
Yeah, check out the latest Trump Truth Social post that isn't one, but no one's sure. Still, I might share that tonight. But anyway, we have more stuff coming for Stone Soup's 55th. We do have features to announce in case John missed it. Harris Gardner is kicking off from May, and we already have someone for the towards the end of May, and hopefully the closer will be announced. It's going to be an exciting time with hopefully more being announced and in the next coming days that I can actually say more than two sentences without coughing and hacking up one of my ribs. We should be able to move forward. So again, thank you all very much. Thanks so much to Diane and George. Obligatory wave time and well, optional
Thank you,
optional wave
Chad.
time. Thank you, Diane, and thank you, George, and thank Jamelia, John, and everyone else, latecomers and early comers, and just coming here in general. We will see you next time. It can be like this every week. All we need is you. Stay tuned for more announcements, or as I like to say, show's over. See you next time.